Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do my review on Love During Lockup, Season 3, Episode 67. It's titled, He Loves Me Not. Okay, the first couple is Haley and Dalton. Okay, we see Haley. She's driving as usual. She says she's feeling used because of all the money she gave to Dalton. And she should feel used because she was used. She allowed herself to be used. She says she's on her way to see him. And I think that's a bad idea. Why go see him? Dalton is a con artist, okay? He's just going to keep on conning her because she's gullible. Oh, so we see Dalton, and he says it's been a week since he has spoken to Haley. He says she has been ignoring him. He says he doesn't know why she is ignoring him. He said they talk every day and it's not normal for him. Oh, poor Dalton. He said it's the hardest thing he has ever been through. So this man has been accused of a crime, arrested, had a trial, been sent to jail, disappointed his entire family, and not speaking to Haley is the hardest thing he ever had to go through. Okay, Dalton. Okay, so we see Haley, and she's on her way to see Dalton, and she looks like she's ready to fight. She has her hair pulled back. She's not wearing any makeup. She looks like she's ready to go fight somebody. Dalton says Haley is the love of his life. They keep going back and forth, showing Haley and then showing Dalton. The producer asks Dalton if he keeps in touch with his exes. Dalton says he does not want to go into that. That means yes. Because if the answer is no, the answer is no. Right? No big deal. But if the answer is yes, that's a big deal. So you not wanting to answer the question, Dalton, tells us the answer is yes. I mean, how simple is that, Dalton? I mean, come on. Dalton thinks he's smarter than he actually is, I guess. I don't know. Haley said it's been a month since she last saw Dalton. She says he only gets 2 visits a month. Wow, that's strict. That's strict. She says she may not get to see him because she didn't schedule a visit. She says she's hoping to charm the correctional officers into letting her see him. I guess she thinks she's charming. I don't know. So when she gets to the prison, she tells the camera person that she can't take them in there with her, so she goes in by herself. Or she gets out of her car and she walks towards the building by herself. So then we see the producer talking to Dalton. And the producer asks Dalton if he's keeping anything from Haley. And all he does is smile. They didn't show him answering the question. Next, we see Haley. She's coming back to her car. And the producer that's in her car asks her what happened. And Haley said, they said they don't do same-day visit, which she knows. They do scheduled visits. And Haley said the prison is not on lockdown, so hopefully Dalton will call her soon. So she's back in her car driving, and Dalton calls. She pulls over to take the call from Dalton. And Dalton is sweet-talking Haley. And Haley says that Dalton is good with his words, and he should run for president. Imagine Dalton being the president and Haley being the first lady of the United States of America. Imagine that. I'd have to change countries. I'd have to move to another country. I don't know. Anywho, Haley says Dalton can have everyone believe in what he says. If that was true, he wouldn't be in jail. If he said, I'm innocent, I didn't do this crime, then everyone would believe him and he wouldn't be in jail. So, Haley, you're the only one believing what Dalton says. Nobody else is believing what Dalton says. His parents don't want nothing to do with him while he's in jail. They don't believe anything he says. You're the only one, Haley, that believes what Dalton says. Haley said Dalton is good with his words, and she's good with her words too. So Dalton is sweet talking Haley. And Haley tells Dalton that she's the only one contributing to the relationship. And Dalton says, what? Are you talking about money-wise? And she says, I give you my checks. She said, my checks go to you. Why? I don't know. She said her checks go to him. She told him she spent $20,000 on him. Dalton is he's a comedian. Dalton said, that is what you're supposed to do. If somebody is in jail, you're supposed to take care of them. He told her that's what she signed up for from the jump. So she asked him if he asked her for money for his ex-girlfriend. He said, no, don't be ridiculous. He said, I don't want any of your money. He said, I don't want any kind of money from you at all, is what he says. Those are very exact words. But that's not true. He told the producers last episode that he asked Haley for money and she gives it to him. So what are you talking about? I don't want none of your money. You do want her money. And he just said, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give me money since I'm in jail. That's what you just said. So all of a sudden now you don't want her money? Come on, Dalton. Come on. Haley says, bullshit. You ask me for money every day. She told him she gave him more money than she gave her child. She said, F you. And Dalton is still trying to sweet talk her. And when Dalton realized that the sweet talking is not working, he starts to cuss a little bit. Haley told him that she hopes he doesn't get out of prison because that's where he belongs. And then she told him she don't love him anymore. And she said, F you. She didn't say F you. She said the actual word. I'm just saying F you. Dalton told Haley that everything she just said to him was rude as F. And he actually said the word. He didn't say F. Haley said, oh, I'm so sorry for poor effing baby. She calls him a baby. Haley told Dalton that they are done. And he doesn't sound like he believes it at all. And I don't believe it either. She's talking to him instead of hanging up. What she should do is cuss him out and then hang up. But she's talking to him. She's listening to what he's telling her. But then she lost her window to hang up on him because he hangs up on her. So stupid. Haley says she feels like they climbed to the top of a mountain. And then when they get to the top, he just shoved her ass off the mountain. Yeah. And then you're going to keep climbing back up the mountain. And he's going to keep shoving you off the mountain. And you're going to keep climbing back up the mountain. And he's going to keep shoving you off the mountain. So we see Dalton talking to the camera. Yeah, we see him on camera talking to the producer. He said he absolutely, definitely still loved Haley. Dalton said, this is the hardest test of love anybody goes through. He said he's going to fight for Haley. And I'm pretty sure he will get her back. Well, that's the end of Haley and Dalton. Next up is Gabby and Chris. We see Gabby and Chris's sister, Essence. They're on their way to pick up Chris from jail because he's being released today. And they're not getting along, but they're tolerating each other just for the sake of Chris. So they get to the prison and they sit in the car in the parking lot. And they're waiting for Chris to come out. In her confessional, Gabby said that her and Chris are going to be making babies as soon as she gets him home. So after waiting for about 4 hours, over 4 hours, a correctional officer comes over to the car and asks them who are they picking up. And Gabby tells them that, she gives them Chris's name. Then another correctional officer comes over and he tells them to turn off the camera. So they turn off the camera, but the mics are still on. And they told her that Chris is not leaving today. So they leave the correctional facility parking lot, and Essence calls her mother, and Essence tells her mother that Chris was not getting released today. Chris's mother thinks that they're holding Chris for a reason that has to do with the feds. The mother said they're holding him like he killed somebody. So the mother said, I'm going to call somebody, and then she'll get back to them. So the mother, she called whoever she needs to call, her hookup, whoever she needs to call, and they told her that Chris was being released the following day. So Gabby and Essence, they go back to the hotel, and they plan on coming back the next day to pick up Chris. And that's the end of Chris and Gabby. Next up, Indy and Harry. Okay, last we saw, the people at the correctional, the halfway house, told Indy that she can't come visit Harry. So she threw a tantrum. So next thing we know, Harry calls Indy, and he asks her why hasn't she come in to see him. And Harry has terrible English. I don't think he went to high school. I don't think he finished high school. Maybe he didn't even start high school. I don't know. Apparently Harry's waiting for her at the halfway house. So Indy and her mother, they drive to the halfway house, and we didn't see this because they can't have cameras in there, I guess. But they came back to the car, and they told us that they drove to the halfway house, they got out of the car, and they walked towards the building, and the cameras shut off, I guess, because we can't see what's going on in there. So the next thing we know, when they came back on camera, they're in the car, and they're all happy. They said they got to see Harry for the first time. Indy she's on cloud 9. She's just so happy. The mother said they were behind glass, and they couldn't hear. Well, Indy said they were behind glass, and they couldn't hear each other, but they could see him. And Indy said she watched him put on his ring, because she bought him a wedding ring, because she planned on telling the people at the halfway house that she was his wife, so that she'd be able to see him. So her mother said that Harry's cute. The mother said that Harry waved hello to her and called her mom. And he made love signs to Indy. I guess, how's the love sign? Is it a love sign? Love sign to Indy. And said, I love you to Indy. The mother said he is not getting any passes but to go to work. That's the only pass he'll get, is a work pass. And when he goes to work, they'll monitor him. Wow, they're not letting him go. They're making sure they keep an eye on that one. The mother think that the best thing for Indy to do is to go back to Maryland, because Harry can't go anywhere. And I agree with that. Might as well take your butt right back to Maryland. She probably gave up her apartment. She'll have to move in with her mom. Anyway, the mother said that she feels better seeing Harry, and she says he seems to love him some Indy. How can she tell? They saw him for about 5 minutes. But she said the verdict is still out on Harry. That means she's still keeping an eye on him. I guess she's still going to investigate him. She's still going to watch him. I don't know. So Lydia calls Indy. Lydia is Harry's sister. And Indy tells her that she got to see Harry and told her to meet them at the hotel. And in her confessional, Indy said that she and Lydia made plans for Harry's family to meet her. Indy said they need to meet their new daughter-in-law and sister-in-law, because they know that's where it's headed. That means she's going to marry Harry. So Indy and her mother, they pull up at the hotel, and they still got that U-Haul truck there, or van. They pull up at the hotel, and then Indy tells her brother and sister and her daughter they were leaving for Maryland today. And her daughter is disappointed because she wanted to meet Harry. So Indy told them to pack up, but she told them that they're going to meet Harry's family, and she told them to be on their best behavior. But she had one hell of a nerve telling them to be on their best behavior, when the way she talked to her mother is ridiculous, just totally crazy. And we just saw her have a temper tantrum because they told her she couldn't see Harry. And she has the nerve to tell them to be on their best behavior. Everybody's been on their best behavior but her. Even her little daughter knows how to behave. She told them not to embarrass her. And while they're loading up the U-Haul, Harry's people pull up. And I think it's Harry's two sisters and Harry's mom. So Indy explains to them, she introduces herself and everybody introduces themselves to each other. And she explained to them the story about how she barely got to see Harry. And I wonder why the family didn't go see him. Maybe it's because he's constantly in and out of jail and they're used to him going to that halfway house for 30 days and then coming home. I don't know. They didn't seem to care to go see him. But then he did tell her that he's not close with his family like that. I don't know. I don't know that story. So Indy starts telling the family about her psychic. And they're looking at her like she's totally crazy. She's telling them how the psychic predicted everything that happened. Harry's mother told the camera that she thinks Indy is a little bit crazy. And Harry has excellent timing. While they're all there talking, he FaceTimes Indy, and they all got to see him. All the mom and the sister, they got to see him. Indy's daughter got to see him. She's calling him Papa Daddy, and she's kissing the phone, and they're all happy to see him, and he's happy to see them. He's grinning from ear to ear, so his timing in calling them was right on point. So after they got off the phone with Harry, Indy told the family that she was going back to Maryland today. Harry's mother said that Harry always picked the craziest females. He needs to see a psychic. Not a psychic. What did she say? She said he needs to see a psychology or something. She said he always picked crazy females. So everybody is telling Indy that she needs to slow down. She don't need to rush to get married to Harry. But she's not having it. She's not hearing it. She's going to do what she want to do. So they all said their goodbyes and give hugs and everything. And in her confessional, Indy says that Harry's family wants Harry all to themselves, and that they are going to do everything to break them up. That's what she says. I don't think they're going to try and break them up. They're adults. They can do what the hell they want to do. Next we see Harry's family. They're talking and they're saying they didn't like the fact that Indy's daughter was calling Harry Daddy. That's the end of Indy and Harry. Next up is Tai and Hardy. We see Tai. She's waiting on a video chat with Hardy. And then she found out that the video chat was canceled. And she thinks Hardy canceled the video chat because of what happened with her, with the fight with her in Boston. Then her phone rings and it's Hardy. And Hardy tries to tell Tai that he was trying to call her earlier to let her know that the video chat was switched from a different floor. I don't know what that means. Tai told him that he was lying and he was playing games. And his English is bad too. I don't think he went to high school or finished high school. So Tai asks Hardy what was going on with him in Boston. And Hardy tells her to stop. He says, "I love you and stop bringing up Boston." Anyway, he says, "I love you and stop bringing up Boston." So Tai tells Hardy that she beat up Boston. She tells Hardy that she beat up Boston. Hardy told Tai that he don't know why she is giving energy to Boston. And he hasn't spoken to Boston in a long time. A long time probably means in a few hours to him. Because he's in jail, so time means different to him than it does to the people on the outside. Tai asks Hardy, why did Boston contact her and try to meet up with her if he had nothing going on with Boston? Hardy said maybe Boston has free time on her hand. He's trying to just blow it off, brush it off like it doesn't matter. And Hardy told Tai that he doesn't want to keep talking about Boston. See, when you're guilty, you don't want to talk about what's making you guilty. You just want to brush it on the table and, just leave it alone. He says he can't control Boston. So Hardy promised Tai that she will not have any more problems with Boston. And he sweet talks Tai. And she eats it up. She's loving it. But Ty never ever asked Boston how, Ty never ever asked Hardy how Boston got her nude pictures when she only sent the nude pictures to Hardy. That's the most important question right there. This show is so fake, but I keep watching it. Ty said she believes everything Hardy tells her, and she feels better. But she still wants to know what Boston has to say. So next we see a clip. Oh my gosh, we see a clip of Ty, and she has her little toy, and she names her toy Umberto. Why Umberto? I don't know. But my thing with Ty is she has 3 daughters. I think 2 is still in school. She has her nudes all over social media, and now she's on national TV with this toy. Wow. I don't know. Usually the kids embarrass the parent, not the other way around, right? Anyway, let me leave that alone. Next we see Ty and her friend, and they are on their way to meet up with Boston. I think Ty is bringing back up because she don't know what's going to happen with Boston. And Hardy is a straight up Casanova. We see a clip of Boston talking to Hardy on the phone, and Hardy is saying the exact same thing to Boston that he does to Ty. He's playing them both like a fiddle. He's getting money from both these ladies. But I hope he's saving this money up to make a nice little nest egg for when he gets out, you know? And he probably have other women other than Boston and Ty sending him money. We don't know. What is the world coming to when an inmate is richer than some of the people living in the free world? It's crazy. So Ty and her friend, they arrive at the meeting spot, and Boston and her friend, they're already at the spot. And Ty is very rude to Boston's friend for no reason at all. So both Boston's friend and Ty friend, they go off and they leave Ty and Boston to talk on their own. And I'm loving Boston. Boston is putting that rude, disrespectful Ty in her place. And then Ty noticed that Boston is wearing a sweatshirt or a hoodie of Hardy. It has Hardy's picture on it and some kind of words and whatever. So apparently Hardy is selling merch online. This man is making money. Ty said that Hardy told her that the sweatshirts were all sold out, so he couldn't get her one. So she's kind of annoyed that Boston has a shirt and she doesn't. So Boston tell Hardy that her and Boston tells Ty, all these damn names, weird names too. Boston tells Ty that her and Hardy have been together for 11 years. I thought it was 12, but she said 11. And she's been living with him and going with him to his shows. And Ty calls Boston a dodo bird or a doodle bird. And Boston dips her hand in her water cup and flicks it in Ty's face. And then they start to fight. And the episode went off. Next up, that's the end of them. Next up, Max and Tara. Max goes over to Alyssa's house. I don't know if he moved back in with her, but he's at her house. And she says, "What are you doing here?" Like she don't want him there. She wants him there. And he tells her that he canceled his date with the lady he was, getting ready to go on a date with. And she asked him why. And he said, "Because Tara called me." And Alyssa, she can't believe that he canceled a date with a normal person, a person on the outside, to go date an inmate, or a used to be inmate. Max tells Alyssa that he is going to go see Tara. Max said he's going to go book a flight and go see her. And Alyssa, she does not think Tara exists. She don't think Tara is real. Alyssa tells Max that she wants to go with him to see Tara. And Max tells Alyssa no, because Tara doesn't know about her. He doesn't know about them doing OnlyFans. He doesn't know about them living together and sleeping in the same bed. So he's like, "No, you can't go with me." Alyssa, she looks up the inmate that Max has been talking to, and she found out that the girl is on trial for murder. And Max told Alyssa that being on trial doesn't mean that you're guilty. Max said he asked the murderer on the phone. He said he talked to the murderer on the phone, and she's told him that she is not guilty, and she's expecting to be out very soon. So Alicia thinks Max is rebelling. The reason he dates all these inmates is because he's rebelling because he grew up in a strict family. No, Alyssa, Max is just dumb. That's why he's dating these inmates. He's just totally dumb. So that's the end of that. Next week is the finale, and I can't wait. It looks like it's going to be nice and juicy. So this is the end of my review. I will be back next week with another review. Princess on a Pillow here. Thank you for watching. Bye.